What is going on? Today we are revisiting a project, a crypto project called Solar Wind Token. We already visited this and we ripped it to shreds, and now they are back for more because they have made huge improvements to their team, to the coin, to the whole project in general. And we still need to figure out, hey, is this a project that we can invest our hard-earned money into? We got the devs in the hot seat today, and we're going to find out that right now. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm on a journey to one Bitcoin. I'm a brand new crypto investor. Okay, I don't know anything. I'm not your financial advisor. This is never financial advice. I have a little lizard brain, but gorilla arms and diamond hands, exploring the wild west of cryptocurrency with a whole bunch of other wild and crazy cowboys. If you want to join us, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell for any updated content. Of course, give us a like button on this video if you want to help grow this channel, and you're feeling generous. And of course, join the Telegram. We call it the Saloon because that's where we talk into other cowboys, what kind of money moves, what kind of coins they're into, what kind of projects they're into, and it's just the latest and greatest up-to-date information. You don't want to miss out on that. Now, if you don't know what I'm doing here, and you see a whole bunch of other these copycats out here doing these AMAs, look, what I'm doing is that I am interviewing, I am putting these crypto developers in the hot seat, and I am grilling them, and I'm tearing them to shreds because I'm like you, all right? I'm just trying to get to that one sweet Bitcoin. I'm a whole coiner. I believe that Bitcoin is the future. I just think that it's so important. And then when I hear about all these different crypto projects, these YouTubers talking about them, they don't ever say that they're promoting these, they're getting paid to promote these coins. And so they read the website and they do a terrible job of it, and they don't give me real information. I could read the website, but these developers aren't even happy with them either because there's no energy, there's no insight, there's no active care for the project. So when I interview a developer, it's a win-win-win strategy. The developers win because they get to defend their project to the best way they can with insight, with use case, better than a website. Two, I get compensated for these AMAs, and I get to ask them the hardest hitting questions that I possibly can. And three, you and I get the best sources of information, better than anything out there, on whether or not the project is worth our time or not. And so in the hot seat, we've got Roy and Archie from Solar Wind Token here today, and you and I are going to grill them and figure out what is going on with them. So Roy, Archie, welcome to the hot seat.
Hey,
Thanks for having me back,
yeah,
Aaron.
good to be here.
Good to have you back, Roy. Welcome, Archie, to the hot seat. I hope you guys are ready. Let's get right into this.
Awesome.
I want to go, before I even go into Solar Wind, I want to get into you guys. If no one is familiar with who you are, Roy, probably you first, and then Archie second. Tell me a little bit about your background coming into crypto.
All right. So essentially, my background is graduated from OSU, started my own solar company, and realized that financing is really hard for customers to come by. Um, and essentially, that's where SolarWind came about. Just keeping it real brief, since we
Awesome,
already did this process before.
awesome. Archie.
Yeah, I think this journey started for me. Same graduate from OSU, go folks, with an engineering degree. Actually ended up ended up in a different entire different was it career, and so I went into real estate, investment real estate. Work with investors, buying and selling, distressed properties and things like that. But I've always had investing in the back of my mind. I wanted to do something with investing and things like that. And real estate was the perfect mix of both, where I wanted to get into real estate and investing, and it just kind of added up. Um, but like I said, I'm always open to investments and things like that. Dabbled in crypto a little bit way back when Ripple was kind of the hype and things like that. Bitcoin was starting up and things. I actually bought some Ripple, but like everybody else, I don't know where my password is, so I have some
Oh
Ripple
no.
somewhere. But yeah, kind of started for us like really diving into crypto the past few months. And yeah, Roy and I have been at it, and we're trying to create something, and in this space that is beneficial to people. We're trying to help as many people as we can with what we're doing and the project we're working on. So I'm excited to be
Awesome.
here, and yeah.
Awesome. Glad to have you too, Archie. So, if those of you who don't know, we have already like just tore into solar wind tokens. That's actually one of my favorite interviews. If you don't know what it is, check out the link up in the description, down in the description or up in the side here, because that gives a lot of context to this video. This is a progress update video. That solar wind coin, that version of Roy, that version of that project was in its like bare infancy. The project, the website looked like a scammer's website. Roy that was like, I was grilling him with questions and we were struggling to find answers at the same time. He had a lot of the groundwork laid down. But if I just asked like a little bit further, I mean, Roy, you could let me know how did you feel after that first interview?
I feel like I bombed it completely. But it's just amazing. After that first interview, I felt like I bombed it, but then like immediately after you posted, like I had hundreds of comments, yo, this is the greatest thing ever. We're on board. And I was like, whoa, wow, I mean, I'm glad we're able to really elaborate the vision and come out with a feasible solution
Yeah, I
that
think
would work.
so. So solar wind token, if and you could add to this, right? Solar wind token. Here's what I got from it. You want to take financing to people who want solar panels. That's basically in a nutshell, and you could kind of expand on that. But that's at least what I got from your past interview. What is the vision of solar wind token now? How has it changed or stayed the same since last time we talked?
So the overall vision, the aspect of financing solar projects is essentially the same, but we're taking it a step further. And right now, a big priority for us is to actually transition Bitcoin into renewable energy. So that's one of our main selling points is partnering up with miners, new and existing, and kind of having
Yeah.
kind of
That's
being like the solution.
That is brilliant. That is like the hottest thing right now.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's why China got rid of all their. Or I'm not sure why they got rid of. They're China, right? But that's why Elon was like flaming
Hmm.
Bitcoin. Walk me through that process here. How are you going to do that? What's the process of focusing on the renewable energy part and all that kind of stuff?
So this actually ties back into the first issue on the interview that we had prior, how I was like, okay, we're gonna be collecting these loan payments and we'll become kind of like loan sharks. And then that led us to the D app, which would handle all that for us.
Yeah.
So we're kind of thinking about it, and we're like, well, the D app they can use a credit card, debit card, whatever form of payment that they'd like to use. Internally, we're kind of saying, well, what about Bitcoin if they want to pay with Bitcoin? We're like, yeah, that could work. Then we're thinking, well, what about Bitcoin miners? It would be kind of perfect for them. They don't have to do anything at all. We talk to them, and then all they have to do is just integrate their LP with the D app, and then it just takes care of itself.
Yeah.
So so we kind of had
That's
conversations
amazing.
with miners to see if it would be something feasible that we could do, and from from the reaction so far, it seems like a pretty solid plan.
So you've talked to miners already,
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
and their reaction is
They're
So
more,
the very first miner, that I talked to, his reaction was just all gung ho. It's been a little bit of a different story. Uh, Archie and I, we met with a couple miners. Well, with one miner, they're a partner, but the other one wasn't available yet. But we spoke to them about something like that, and just hearing the real thoughts and concerns that miners have about something like that really opened our eyes.
yeah.
And but we were able to put a lot of things into perspective for them. So it's kind of just like a open conversation that needs to be had with miners. And after we're done with the conversation, all the feedback that we've gotten so far has been positive.
Yeah.
So
so correct me if I'm wrong. Wouldn't this be such a benefit to miners because you're mining something that then provides you electricity in a solar panel that will consistently help you generate more energy to then mine again for free. Is
yep,
that basically like what I'm hearing?
yep, that's the short version.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So for lizard brain dumb people like me, like how would
Yep.
you describe it then?
Oh, well, how you described it would be pretty much exactly
Okay,
how
there.
it is.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
perfect. So
Right, yeah.
who
Yep.
does who does the installing? How do you what if I'm a miner in, Southeast Asia, or I'm a miner in Germany? You're in, I think, Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get a solar panel from you?
You want to elaborate on this, Archie?
Yeah. So in terms
Okay.
of that, that kind of leads more into the partnership aspect of things. We just don't want to we don't want to be the only installers, right? We want to partner up with multiple solar installers that can build
Mm,
that. So that gives us the opportunity to expand into other outside the country. Let's say so, like what you're saying, someone let's say in Germany wants a solar installation through our platform. They can apply for financing. Also partner up with a solar installer in that city or whatnot, get connected with them. Our app does what it needs to do. The app does all what it needs to do, gets them approved, gets the installer paid, and then the installation is done, and then they get into the repayment part to the app.
Yeah.
So that's the
this
And one
partnership
thing,
aspect.
this is brilliant, guys. If you're watching this video, this is the first time I'm hearing all of this, right? This is brilliant, and I'll tell you why. Is because when they're paying in Bitcoin, some accountant can correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not your financial advisor, especially on something about like I'm about to say right now. But if they're about to pay in, if they mine Bitcoin out of the space, like, right, they just mine Bitcoin out of nowhere, and they pay Bitcoin to finance through Solar Wind Token.
Yep.
They're not paying any fees. They're not paying any taxes. The only fee that they're paying is based on the network, right? They're swapping. They're not paying through taxes, and because they have to transfer it out into fiat and then back into wherever, they pay straight into this DApp, this decentralized. If you don't know what a DApp is, it's a decentralized application. It's built on a centralized network, basically blockchain, and so they pay through there. They avoid the fees. They avoid the taxes. This is some brilliant stuff. And then you work with an installer. Hopefully, if they're installing solar panels for Bitcoin, hopefully they'll accept Bitcoin in payment. And now we've got a whole economy. We've got a whole economy from the miner to the middle financing, to which is you guys, to the installer, and then back into the miner. That is that's a closed circle ecosystem right there,
Right.
and that can be done through Bitcoin,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is amazing.
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if you watched that interview with Kathy Woods, Elon Musk,
I
and
did.
Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they talked about is miners are still having to transfer their hard-earned Bitcoin into fiat to pay these bills
Right.
and whatnot.
No,
So
We're done with
this just
that.
gives them. Oh
We're
yeah,
done with that, dude.
definitely.
Crypto's the future. I believe it. Bitcoin's the future. And the more we get into fiat, the more that that's a taxable event. Anytime we go into fiat, that's a taxable event.
Yep.
But you keep that in crypto, at least for right now, right? For the foreseeable future,
Yeah.
they can't. How are they supposed to tax that? It's on a network
Yeah.
a global network. You can't tax that stuff. I don't see how now. Again, I am just a lizard brain cowboy. Do not sue me for this type of information. This is not that. But that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I can see the real evolution on the thought process of like really thinking it out
Yeah.
through like all of that. I love it, guys. I think, yeah, you guys got me excited for Solar Wind, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
I think too.
I,
Go ahead, Roy.
oh, okay. I would. Oh, you go ahead, and then I'll get into some of the initial concerns that we got from
Sure.
the miners.
Yeah, I think, and mention kind of talking about the installer accepting payment and things like that. Like that fact, they can, if they wanted to accept it in fiat, they don't necessarily have to do Bitcoin or whatnot. If they wanted to accept in fiat, we're paying it out, so we can do that. But in terms of the repayment back, yes, integrating the mining into our D app, and they can pay directly where it's almost hands off for them. I guess Roy's going to add on to, but it's just having that conversation with just miners, also answer some questions that we had, and also opened up a little bit more for we wanted to have that conversation but then also having them kind of seeing that aha moment for them, because one thing the miner we're talking with was like saying he didn't want to spend any of the Bitcoin that he was mining just yet, he wanted to hold on to it and things like that. And
He's a hodler.
yeah, as we were talking and kind of bouncing off our ideas and talking about the process and things like that, it just made more sense to him. Like, yeah, really, if I'm able to get an installation right now, get it financed, eventually be mining with low cost in terms of bills on electric and everything like that, then my Bitcoin is going to be even worth more down the road because at the end of the day, I'm subtracting my expenses is getting lower with going renewable energy, and in the
Mm-hmm.
long term, Bitcoin goes up to what is predicted to go up to, that wouldn't even matter, and he's able to mine like you were saying earlier for free, pretty much,
Yeah.
and mostly hands off.
That's awesome. And if someone is coming into this conversation here not knowing about Bitcoin mining, here's essentially what Bitcoin mining is. It's these nerds, right? These guys who buy up hundreds, thousands of dollars of computers and they put it in the freaking background. They put it on this wall, or they put it in their closets, or they put it in a whole room or a storage container, and they have to pump. They have to run those computers, and those computers are hot. Like it's like shh, because they're using up
Hmm.
energy all the time.
Yep.
It takes coolant to or like AC to keep those things cold. I don't know if you like. I've one time played Netflix, like some music, and like I was streaming and playing World of Warcraft, and it was running my computer like dead. You know what I'm saying? Now that of course there are certain like computers that are specific to mining, but they take up a lot of energy, use a lot
Hmm.
of heat, and so that's why it's the energy conversation is so important here. And what I think you guys are doing, what SolarWinds is doing, is really offering a solution to that in multiple ways. I mean, there's multiple solutions you guys are offering with this ecosystem. Really, is that you're offering the solution of energy, you're offering the solution of financing, and you're offering the solution of removing the extra fees and the taxes on top of that. And it's easy to use. This is all good. I haven't seen, I can't see one downside yet. So if these miners brought up a downside, please, Roy, tell me what they are and tell me how you're addressing them.
Yeah, so Archie elaborated on it a little bit. I'll just go a little bit deeper. So essentially, their biggest concern is a because one scenario that I mentioned to them is if you dedicated for an installation to cover your fees, if you dedicated a year and a half worth of Bitcoin in the first year solely to pay that off, it'd be paid off in a year and a half at Bitcoin being at $35,000. And if it takes off, then it'll be sooner. If it dips, it'll be a little bit longer. Um, which by no means do you have to dedicate your full Bitcoin stash towards an installation. But just initially hearing that, oh, so the first year and a half I'm not going to make any Bitcoin, that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I think we're out. But having that conversation with them, having them realize that you're like in a perfect world, you would be able to stash all your Bitcoin while it's cheap and then not touch it until it's more expensive. But the the electric costs and all the other expenses, you're going to have to sell that Bitcoin one way or another to pay for those bills. And if you don't do something with it early to offset that, then you're going to end up having more expenses later on down the road. And that's kind of where that aha moment came about is you could dedicate the first year with for Bitcoin to pay it off. And then whenever Bitcoin hits the $100,000, you have absolutely no fees. And now it's like each miner, let's say you're making $26 a day per miner, you're making $100 a day per miner with no expenses. So
Yeah.
so the math works out at the end of the day, and you can always expand that out for as long or as short as you
Yeah.
want to. So by no means you have to dedicate your whole Bitcoin stash for an
Ah,
installation.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it right there, right? That's it right there. So if you want to pay it off faster, you're gonna have to, as a miner, right?
Hmm.
I would have to accept the fact that if I want to pay it off as fast as possible, the solar installation, I would have to dedicate 100% of my Bitcoin mining you know, the Bitcoin that I mine, 100% of it would go there because I can't dedicate any more than that. But
Yep.
if I were to pay it off slower, I dedicate 50% of it. So I bank 50% of my Bitcoin that I mine, and I use the other half to pay for the solar panels, and it's just going to take twice as long. But as long as I'm keeping a little bit of that Bitcoin, because I never know what's going to happen, right? I don't,
Yeah.
tornado take up my whatever. I don't know what happens. But as long as I got that Bitcoin in bank, is that what you're saying? You offer options on,
Oh
how
yeah,
fast or slow someone wants to pay it off.
definitely. And if they want to choose to pay for an installation with a card, they could always do that as well.
Sure.
So by no means do they have to use Bitcoin, but that's just the fastest option, especially if at the end of the year Bitcoin were to go to $100,000, they'd have that paid off in 5 months. So that's just pretty incredible to think that Bitcoin has the ability to get you onto renewable energy, have it paid off in less than a year, and then you have no expenses or reduced expenses.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens if it dips down then? So if it goes up or goes down, right? If it dips down, then it's going to take longer, right?
Yep,
Okay.
it'll take longer, which is why when we work out these structures, we want it to be somewhat feasible. So by no means will we have it to where it's like you guys have to dedicate your Bitcoin towards us. But if they wanted to work it out in a 10-year deal,
Yeah.
you could do something like that.
I
Gotcha.
think there's
Gotcha.
terms that will be applied one way or another in terms of, hey, ideally this is the term that you have to pay it off, right? And with what their numbers look like and what if they wanted to pay it off faster, they can if they wanted to, or take the full term um, in that
Gotcha.
manner. So
Understood. Understood. Okay, so I want to continue on to some of the other areas that you've expanded this project.
yeah,
I'm going to just be brief on this one, but like I said, your website looked straight garbage last time I saw you. Now it looks like
Indeed.
the new hotness, right? It looks awesome.
yeah,
If you're
Yeah.
watching this video, check it out. What links are going to be in the description. Don't really want to talk about the website. I don't want to pull it up. I want you guys. Your team, Roy, has expanded. If I remember right, it was just you, right, running the whole show,
Correct.
and this is a very ambitious project. How has your team grown? And maybe Archie, you could tell me a little bit about your specific tie-ins with the team. So yeah, how big is the team grown? Where's the team at right now?
So currently we are with 5 members, including myself. Um, I'll start with me, the CEO, Archie, the COO. We have our CMO, Anvesh. Uh, let's see, our chief brand officer, Taki, and our UI UX web developer, Wade. So we have 5 people now, and we are actually expanding to 10 people. I believe we just finalized that meeting today.
yeah,
So yeah, you'll see their faces on the website here the next week or so. Um, and they'll just kind of be complementing what we're already doing with their different roles. Uh, yeah, Anvesh, the CMO, is pretty self. He's been doing a lot of the marketing stuff,
yeah,
trying to
Awesome.
get like plans for the future once the budget expands that we can branch off into.
Hmm.
Wade just doing stuff with the website, white paper, helping with designs for the D app. Taki just doing some branding stuff, and
Gotcha.
Archie pretty much our right hand man. So
yeah.
I'll
Sweet,
let him
Archie.
talk more about.
Yeah. What are you up
Yeah.
to with it?
Yeah, so I think initially, the aha moment for when Roy brought this up in terms of, hey, why don't we, go on this journey and things. I mean, I've done a lot with Roy in the past in terms of other projects as well, where from college and things like that, good times. But I was on board. I was pretty much all in terms of that, and so. Um, our main goal is to get this to kind of the vision we have, and we both. I mean, I would say 98% of the time, or 99% of the time, we're both on the same page in terms of where we're going with this, the vision, and things like that. And that's kind of what we're trying to bring to life. And I think we've done a great job so far, from where we started to where we are now. And yeah, just playing off of each other and doing what we need to do to get this to what we see this becoming. Um, and this is just the tip of the iceberg for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And in regards to the other 5 members that we're adding onto the team, well, I guess technically there's another guy. We haven't finalized that yet,
Yeah.
but a blockchain engineer for the D app. He loves the project. He wants to get working on it. We're trying to work on finalizing that deal. So, um, but it's not official yet. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
but for the other 5 guys, kind of what their main objective in the future would be after we get some of this early stuff done is one way we talked about it is they'll be working on the business and we'll be working in it.
Hmm.
Um, because we have every intention to growing Solar Wind token into extremely something that everyone knows the name, and that's going to take a lot of expansion and growth. And that's one thing that they really bring is that business structure and organization.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited about that in the
For
future.
sure.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I just I'm hearing like, you know, there's this saying, dead things don't grow, but living things grow. And if I see your vision growing, your team growing, you growing as a person, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I need someone who knows these business acumen to like, I need this. You know what I mean? It's like very, very encouraging for me to see like a project to start here and then just kind of like expand and grow. It's just like, oh, okay, now they're gaining legs. They're getting like, they're getting with it, and this is something that, you know, that's possibly more of a, it's not just a shot in the dark anymore. It's like proven track
Yeah.
record. Like it's a locomotion that's going now, which is great. I love to see that. As you're growing, no doubt in the last few months you've had some challenging experiences. I saw that we were talking earlier, and you were forthright. I'd like for you to expand on this. You were the victims of a pump and dump group attack, right? Like
Yep.
this group picked you out and said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna pump this coin, and then we're just gonna drop on it." Can you describe what happened? How'd you recover from that? How are your holders? How's your community through that? All of that.
So, um, so this happened over the 4th of July weekend. I believe at the time we had some YouTube videos released from other YouTubers and whatnot. We just got listed on CoinMarketCap. We've been doing a lot of Reddit chilling and all that jazz. So um, then we started seeing the charts rise rapidly. We thought it was because of all of our work. Like we finally got that spark and we're going to go to the moon. Over that weekend, I believe we what like 30x or something like that. Maybe not that much.
Yeah, we
Um,
lost.
no,
We
oh yeah,
lost it.
no, I think we like 66x or
Yeah.
whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're like, wow, yeah, people are really getting behind this thing. And then the weekend is gone, and we just see big red candles, and we're like, whoa, that's not right. But then it happens again with big green candles, and that happened for about 3 days, just that huge fluctuation up and down. So we're like, what the heck is going on? Come to realize, uh, we were put in a pump and dump group, which was unfortunate. But at the end of the day, with how the tokenomics works, uh, it kept the price uh, higher than where we started initially because it just keeps on replenishing that liquidity pool. The holders get reflections. So at the end of the day, uh, it's just one of those things where it was a big rise and a big dip, but it's going to be ancient history as we move forward and get proper growth.
Awesome.
Uh, but yeah, just dealing with a lot of the FUD going on, and
It's the Wild
yeah, it's
West out
just
here, man. You gotta be careful, dude.
Yeah.
It's the Wild West,
yeah.
bro. Jeez
But it's
Louise.
but it's okay. I try not to concern. Well, we all try not to concern ourselves too much with the charts, but this project is our
Yeah.
baby, and we're just like, just keep growing. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So what's another big hurdle or obstacle that you've had to overcome in the last, however last I last talked to you?
um,
Or is that the biggest
I would
one?
I would say I would say that's probably the biggest one right now is just trying to keep the chart up. We know what we're doing internally, so it's
Hmm.
just trying to have a way to elaborate it to the holders so that so that they're confident in what we're doing because we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, even if if this thing bombs, we're going to be right here and be like, we will rebuild. So,
Yeah.
uh, but
So so last time on the live, like on the interview, you and I came up with the idea of this decentralized application, this D app.
yep,
Where are you with that? I know you said that you're working on a blockchain developer right now. It's like all of, it's somewhat certain, and I'm glad I'm getting the scoop on it right now. But where are you with this? How are you with vision? With I know it's not technically started, but like what you want it to do. Like where are you with that? Because that is very integral to all of this.
yep. So I've been working on the blueprint behind the scenes to for how everything will work, and then I'm going to get that wireframe mock up over to our front end developer just so we can kind of give a pretty picture to how it'll operate to
Yeah,
the
that's
holders.
important. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's taken longer just because my attention has kind of been here and there. So that's one thing that I need to really focus on to get completed. Um, but the operations of how it'll work is pretty straightforward. We do know we want to add more features to it, like a wallet, uh, uh,
Swap.
ah, what, yeah, a swap, a bridge, and
Mm,
stuff like that.
swap wallet
Um,
bridge, huh?
mhm,
Yeah, I would
um,
think the wallet makes a lot of sense to be in there for sure. I'm not sure about the swap. Maybe a swap makes a lot of sense too. In bridge, I mean, yeah, all these make sense to be in there for sure. I'm like going through these. I'm like, yeah, financing. You're going to need all of these things
oh yeah,
for sure.
because there'll be people from that want to swap other tokens that are either on ERC20 or eventually once the Cardano uh, DeFi tokens start coming
Oh
out.
yeah, waiting for
Yeah.
that. Everyone's waiting for that one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we're ready to hop on there,
awesome,
have Solar Wind on that blockchain, and eventually create our own blockchain. So,
awesome. Good
uh,
to hear.
but
So,
yeah.
there's a lot of action here going on. And you referenced it earlier, Roy. How many hours a week do you think you pour into this? Archie, same question.
Oof. Uh,
I think. I mean, we.
so I'm usually up by 6 a.m. Uh, and work till depending on the day. If it's an extremely busy day, then I'll work till about 8. Well, if it's a regular day, I'll work till about 8. If it's an extremely busy day, then it could be midnight, sometimes later.
So
I don't know an
14, 14.
exact.
Oh, wait. 14 plus hours? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah,
A day?
it's
Yeah,
yep,
it's gone. It's gone.
yeah.
We talk. I mean, we talk maybe 4 or 5 times a day sometimes too. Um,
Oh yeah,
in between, because of course, I'm in real estate and things like that, so I take care of that. But you know, scheduling stock for talking with other, expanding the team, talking with trying to get more marketing out there, more branding and all that stuff. Of course, always talking about ideas and vision and things. So I mean, constantly on the phone. I think my wife feels that I talk to her. So.
It's another full time job for sure. Another full time job.
oh yeah.
You guys got
So
work wives. I get it. I'm
oh
the same
yeah.
way for sure.
And then
Um,
yeah, sometimes just with all the hours, you just shut your eyes for a couple minutes and you realize, oh crap, I've been napping for 6 hours. So that
napping.
happens every
Yeah,
now
yeah.
and then.
Napping is the way to say it.
Yeah.
I don't even go to sleep. I just nap.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I have a couple of more questions here. We talked a lot about the economy of how it all works. What is the next big step for you guys in the future? I'm in the near future. What's the next big thing? And then I want to know. Okay, yeah, give me that one. What's the next big step for you coming up here?
Um, I you want to
Yeah,
elaborate
right.
on the deal with the miners or
Yeah, I think
okay.
one of the things we all came together kind of thinking is like, you know, we didn't want to think small, right? In terms of what can we, I mean, even at the stage that we are at with our liquidity and all that stuff, what can we get going, right? And I think with working with miners was an avenue for us to first create capital. The other thing too is, once we're able to create that capital, we pump it back into building the coin, doing the marketing, expanding on marketing like we want to, um, getting on exchanges like we plan to, and so having that capital is a big portion of that. And so I think those two things, trying to land like VCs as well, venture capital, to be able to do some of the things that we want to do with marketing and kind of growing the token aspect. But I think
Gotcha.
right now our main focus is, of course, landing a deal with the miner, which will change the course of a lot of things for us. Um, I would say right now is, and then second in line is, with the help of that, we're able to maybe get the D app to where it needs to get to, and in terms of up and running as soon as possible. So, and of course, behind that too, we're working on branding and everything like that. That's like,
Gotcha.
of course.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And I
um,
would just to add on top of the miner partnership, it'll be a partnership with a miner and an outside investor. I won't get into the exact number, but it'll be a significant amount to allow us to really have a full blown marketing campaign and to complete the D app from start to finish and get some other stuff done as well. So
wait, I
we're
don't understand that, Roy. So you want a partnership with a miner slash investor, like a miner and investor?
that's what we're working on right now to for our first kind of just to prove the concept of
Mm,
everything, um, and at the same time secure a lot of funds to be able to put into Solar Wind Token, as the token and as the marketing and D app and everything like that.
gotcha. How much funds are we talking about?
Uh, hmm, let's say uh,
I gotta
well,
ask here, man.
yeah.
It's. I mean, I
Let's
think.
see. Yeah, it'll the funds that we'll be able to put into it would be at least $400,000, I believe, but it could be more.
So, and that's why we're
Wow,
So
we're working on that partnership with, because that'll
awesome.
open up doors for us, and that's a
That opens up a lot of doors.
yeah.
So, what's the capital used for then? You said one of the goals is raising capital. What's the capital used for? You said marketing, but marketing can only take you so far.
hmm
And I know marketing pretty well here, so I
yeah,
know the stuff that you would do. What's marketing? What's this rest of this capital for? Let's say it's six figures. What's it
yeah,
for?
yeah. It'll be for, well, first and foremost, getting the D app completed from start to finish.
That dap,
Um,
yeah.
s- second, uh, second would be to form different types of partnerships as well, because I think that's one thing that we're severely lacking as the early stage crypto is these partnerships, um, whether it's influencers or YouTubers or TikTokers.
Hmm.
Um, we've been reaching out to a lot of people, but everyone has such a hefty price tag on them,
Yeah.
so that makes it difficult to really form a valuable partnership. Um, doing some marketing and branding in regards to I guess ads and working with these marketing firms
Yeah,
um, to really expand the name of SolarWind Token.
man. I'll
Um,
look. Here's my 2 cents on this, guys.
mhm,
I really don't like that there's such a focus on marketing on with a lot of capital injected into it. I'd want it when you said D app. That's where I think that money needs to go. I think you build out your ecosystem and your CertTech audits and your DApp and how financing works. I think that's what you need to get straight up. This marketing, dude. If you guys need to talk to miners and installers. That's who you need to talk to. Once that you talk to that, you have your ecosystem set up, and then you could talk about the marketing, because it's hard to market something if you don't have an ecosystem set up already. That's just
Very
my two
true.
cents on it. It's something I really don't like to hear is like to market for, you don't want that pump and dump. You know what I mean? That's
Oh
all
yeah.
that's in. You launch a PooCoin ad, all you're gonna get is like people are just gonna pump that thing. That's all that's gonna happen. I want the success for Solar Winds token so bad. It's because it's such a brilliant idea, that you need to talk to more miners. Like fly, use that for plane tickets to fly to these guys in Germany or China or wherever they are and find them and talk to them and convince them. That's where I'd want to see that if I was investing. That's where I'd
Oh
want to
yeah.
see that.
We
On
plan on
that,
flying a lot.
Yeah.
on that, yeah, just do double mast, whatever you guys got to do. I mean, it's like triple
Oh
mast
yeah.
with a shield and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
But yeah, I think
And glow sticks, whatever keeps it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
for sure.
How many miners are you guys talking to? How many miners have you talked to already? Yeah, that's my question. How many miners have you already talked to?
Right now, we've talked to four
Four.
miners, and we are in. We're hoping to have a meeting with the biggest mining group here in Oklahoma. Um, so I believe next week we're trying to get lunch or something to discuss
Got it.
something going on there.
Bro, you need to turn that into 40. You need
Yeah,
to turn that into 40, bro. Miners,
yeah.
dude, that is brilliant, dude. It's just like yeah, I want to see you guys upping the miners talk. How many installers have you talked to?
We've talked to right now about 4 installers.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, same deal.
two here
Same
in
deal. You guys are in
Tulsa,
the beginning
Oklahoma.
stages of this.
Yeah.
In the beginning
Yeah,
stages of it. Got it.
And I think
Okay.
one thing to add to that is once we
5. Yeah,
once we land this, hopefully land this first partnership with these miners, it is going to be even an easier conversation with other miners,
Sure.
right? Because most of their questions I think is going to be addressed, and then if they bring up new questions, then we can address that as well. But that's one thing we're talking about is like if we're able to, especially with the operation they're trying to run as well. There's talks in terms of how we can expand that partnership with them, other than just servicing them, right? For future growth and things like that with them, where that could look
Yeah.
a little bit more beneficial on both parties. But I think having that solidified would be open up the conversation for if we're talking to a miner, we're like, this is what we're doing for them. This is what we can't do.
Yeah.
We're doing things like that. And so,
Yeah. I'll bet you anything that these miners all know each other. They all talk to each other. And I'll bet you anything that if you get like a small miner, you get like, say he runs a rig of like, I don't know how to measure miners' powers, like 1,000 terahash or whatever. I don't know. I'm talking out my butt right now. A small time miner, you could probably work your way up to bigger time miners, unless you got this big megawatt miner. Then, if like the connections that person can give you is like super valuable, like probably just as valuable as anything else that he's going to deliver into the team. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure you guys know that already. I really like that to me is like a first principle right there. How many miners are we talking to? How many installers? If a week goes by without talking to 5 miners, one miner, it's like a terrible week to me.
right.
Like
Yeah.
that like you got to like a cold call, like turn into a call center. You know what I mean? Like shill these
Yeah.
guys, these miners. I mean that's what I'm talking. Ant farm, all these guys.
Yeah.
Even
We got work to do,
minor,
Archie.
even minor suppliers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these things that create these like minor communities.
Yeah.
Like that is it, dude.
Hey, all the TikTok miners, if you're watching this,
Yeah, bro.
right?
Wait, they're TikTok miners?
Yeah.
What's a TikTok miner?
Oh yeah.
They're like you're talking about, like guys who pretty much are they manufacture big time like mining like containers essentially. We've reached out to a couple and we're kind of blasting them on TikTok and things because they kind of show all that on TikTok.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, they run an operation where they build containers of miners and you can pretty much buy from them directly. So
How many Facebook groups of miners are you guys into? How many Reddit groups of miners are you into?
not a lot.
None yet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That is,
Bro, you
yeah,
got the marketing guy right here.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
look. This is how you find them. You go into those Facebook groups.
Yeah,
There are mining Facebook, Bitcoin mining Facebook groups. Just go there. Look up YouTube, how to mine. Go to those videos. Everyone on those comment sections, get to those guys on the comment sections. If they're asking, oh, I don't know this, I don't know this, get into those. These Telegram groups, go there and say, hey, you know what? Who's a miner here? Blah, blah, blah. Who's just starting out mining right now? Or who's middle? So this is a question that I have in my
yeah,
mind is like, how big of an operation, of a mining operation, do you need to have to justify, offset the cost where solar panels would make sense? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, if I had one rig over here, a solar panel doesn't make sense for me. If I had, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the balance is, the teeter totter is. But yeah,
yeah,
I think that's your best bet. You need someone on that. I mean, just churning out miners, and then after Bitcoin, then you go into whatever other coin mining. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think that's the move, guys. I think that's a move, and I like it. It's just grunt
Oh
work
yeah.
at that point. The
Oh
the
yeah. We're
the
grunts.
vision is there. This the grunt work of just going through the numbers. I mean, this is just a numbers game at this point,
yeah,
which is exciting because
Yep.
it's like a lizard brain. Just don't think, just do. You know what I mean? Just
Yep.
don't overthink this thing,
yeah.
and you got it.
Yep.
So I
So,
love
and we
it,
definitely
guys.
think it's a feasible thing. I mean, miners want to spend less on electricity, and
For
they want to
sure,
make more money.
for
Installers want
sure,
to install. So,
Yep.
for sure, for sure.
yep.
Is there anything left on the table that we didn't talk about that that hasn't come up in conversation that you want to bring up,
Hmm. Um,
or did we cover the gamut, which is fine too?
we covered just about everything.
Awesome.
Eventually, we will be working on manufacturing our own components in
Ooh,
mining and
Yeah.
solar. We won't get to any of that yet because we'll need to get patents and stuff on it. But
what?
it's just kind of exciting in the future, and that's what these five other guys will really be able to help with us for, or help us with.
I
Is
love it. I love the
uh
vision. I love the
so
vision,
so
dude. This is
so
amazing.
we like how solar wind token. We like to kind of, when people ask, oh well, what's different from this crypto? It's we like to say it's kind of like you're investing in a tech company rather than a
Yeah.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Like the crypto aspect, you have the chance to get rewarded a hundredfold on your investment, but then
Mhm.
also you have the security behind actual products being made
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah,
there's the,
a hundred
the plan
percent.
is
That's
to have
amazing.
have multiple streams of revenue that's not just people buying into the token,
Yeah.
essentially.
And I think one thing to add to that too is, and we talk about it all the time, is we want to get to a point where, of course, our holders are rewarded, but that the market doesn't really have any effect on us in terms of um, our movement, right? Where we're
Mm.
going to be strong and stable and stabilize as we grow. Keep that ground floor essentially, where it's like when everybody, the whole market is dipping, we're not following
Yeah.
essentially. And I think creating value in that aspect, doing things just outside of the token to support the token and expand, like what Roy mentioned on those fronts, I think will help that a lot. And so that's one of our focus too, as well as like, you know, it's almost like a heart attack, man, when it happens. The whole market is like, no,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's a hedge. It protects against all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. That's awesome. I got one last question for you guys, then we're going to wrap it up. First of all, it was amazing having you guys. Here's the question.
yeah,
Uh, why, in a sea of cryptocurrencies out there, why should we invest in solar wind token? Before you answer that question, if you're watching this video, I really want you to watch the previous video to really get a full, fleshed out picture of just the amount of progress. Like, if you watch that video, good googly moogly. I was struggling to pull along Roy during that video. I was like, come on, man, you got good answers in you. I
Yeah.
promise you, you do. I believe in you. But this video shows the true testament of his, in my opinion, this is just an honest one man's opinion. He's grown as a leader, as an entrepreneur. His team is testament to that. Just the longevity. You see all these other coins out here, and they're a flash in the pan, dude. They're here, and then there's no real vision. And here Roy is laying out the first initial steps, the roadmap, they've worked on conceptually, and like the distant future, like, hey, we're gonna be making our own components for mine. It's brilliant. This whole ecosystem is brilliant, especially in the climate of energy, renewable energy, all that talk right now. I think it's brilliant. So if you guys would please check out their stuff down in the description below. Check out their Telegram. Check out their website. It looks great now. Okay, guys. Roy, I'm going to leave this question to you. Archie, you too. Why, in a sea of cryptos, would I be investing in Solar Wind token?
So, investing in Solar Wind token isn't like investing in any other token, because first of all, kind of like we said earlier, it's more like investing in a tech company rather than cryptocurrency, because there's so much that's backing behind it. And we always like to say when you invest in Solar Wind token, there's 4 different opportunities for growth. The first one being the liquidity being increasing steadily, especially once you start financing projects. That just kind of adds like a traditional investing aspect where you just indirectly gain interest from the liquidity pool. To the reflections that we all have come to know and love with DeFi projects. Just holding, the longer you hold, the more tokens you get. 3, it's a great way to invest in the renewable energy sector, which is going to have like a hyperbolic growth as we move on. I mean, there's so many countries that have huge ambitious goals to go net, or to at least reduce their carbon emissions by 50%, and that's going to take a lot of growth in terms of the solar industry. And 4, just anything, since we're helping Bitcoin go renewable, it's going to just have a lot more people adopt it as the currency, since it's not going to be so strenuous on the power grid, and it's not going to be using those fossil fuels. So anything that really helps Bitcoin grow kind of elevates the entire crypto market.
That is my favorite one, for sure.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Archie, what you got for me?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we talked about is how do we stand out from the rest, right? And one of the things is utility, and also in terms of the project that we have, we're working on is to support the token, of course, right? But it's not just about getting the price up as high as we can, right? It's like, yes, if we're growing as a token, or how does, if someone invests in us, what in the future, what does that look like for them, right? And is that guarantee, or I guess a little bit more assurance that what they're investing in is not just a gimmick, right? We are actually out here trying to solve problems and issues, creating opportunity for people to go renewable energy, essentially. And we're not going to stop at just solar energy, right? We can get into wind. So the whole renewable energy space is what we're trying to tackle, and also while doing that, solving problems. And I think that is one reason, if anyone is going to invest in us, is to look at it as like we're out here trying to make this world a better place one way or another. And the people who believe in us, we're, of course, hopefully the goal is for them to be rewarded as well and grow this thing to what it can become.
Awesome. Guys, I am not your financial advisor. I'm just a cowboy, but check them out. Do your own research. I think this is the best source of research that you and I could possibly have if you're watching this video. Anyway, if you want to roll with me and a whole bunch of other cowboys, hit the subscribe button down below, notification bell, like button, of course, and of course, join the Telegram. It's called The Saloon, where we're talking all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to check out Solar Wind Token on your own. Do your own research. Anyway, thanks, guys. Lizard brains, gorilla arms, diamond hands. We're all going to the moon. See you there.